If it were not for Johanna van Gogh Bunger, the world would never have known the Starry Night, or even heard of Vincent van Gogh, or rather, Vincent van Gogh, though I'm definitely butchering the Dutch pronunciation. While Vincent was alive, hardly anyone knew his work beyond a small circle of artists. Tired of the hustle and bustle of Paris, where he tried to make a name for himself, he left for the south of France. He dreamt of building his own artist community at his home in Arles, and coaxed fellow painter Paul Gauguin to live with him. But Gauguin didn't want to be in Arles, calling it the dirtiest hole in the south. Vincent's dreams were dashed. 2 days before Christmas in 1888, they had a huge fight. And in a fit of rage, Vincent turned on himself and cut off his left ear. We don't know the exact nature of Vincent's illness, but doctors and historians today believe he may have suffered from bipolar disorder. When he voluntarily checked himself into a psychiatric hospital in Saint-Rémy-de-Provence, paintings seemed to calm him, but his deep anguish remained. 2 months after leaving the hospital, he shot himself in the chest. His brother Theo rushed to be by his side, where he died on July 29, 1890. Vincent van Gogh was just 37 years old. As Theo put it in a letter to their mother, life weighed so heavily on him. Vincent's death also weighed heavily on his brother. Theo's already weakened health deteriorated, and 6 months after Vincent took his own life, Theo died of the effects of syphilis. He was 33 years old. The medical file noted that the cause of Theo's decline was hereditary, chronic illness, excessive strain, and grief. Theo left behind a son who was not even one, and a devastated wife. When Johanna, or Jo as she was commonly called, married Theo, the Dutch woman was whisked away to Paris, the center of the art world, where Theo worked as an art dealer, tirelessly promoting his brother's extensive collection of nearly 900 paintings. Theo spent his life trying to raise awareness of his brother's work, but struggled. Van Gogh's post-impressionism style, characterized by loose brushwork, even bolder colors than Impressionism, and great emotional depth, was in stark contrast to traditional art, which emphasized finely detailed brushwork, precise lines, and a polished finish. Despite the lack of enthusiasm for Vincent's art, Theo believed in his brother's genius, writing to Jo, "One day, he will be understood." After Theo's death, Jo made it her mission for the world to understand and appreciate Vincent van Gogh's art, declaring, "It is the only thing I can do in memory of my husband and for Vincent." This is the story of how she made Vincent van Gogh famous. When Theo died unexpectedly less than 2 years after marrying Jo, she left Paris and moved to Bochum, southeast of Amsterdam, a village home to writers, artists, and intellectuals. Because Theo didn't leave a will, half of Vincent's hundreds of works went to Jo, and the other half to her son Vincent, named after his uncle. Van Gogh dedicated Almond Blossom to his nephew. Jo looked after the boy's share for the time being since he wasn't of age. She converted her large home into a boarding house and stored many of Vincent's paintings that didn't fit on her walls in the attic. She then hatched a plan to achieve recognition for Vincent. As described in the book A Better Life by Hans Lauten, Jo began knocking on doors like a traveling salesman. She tapped into her late husband Theo's contacts in the art world to approach art dealers, galleries, and critics, seeking opportunities for sales, exhibitions, and publicity for Vincent's paintings. She gave museums discounts on works they were interested in acquiring, or even donated them, recognizing this would increase public exposure. It also aligned with her belief that art should be accessible to everyone, not just the privileged, reflecting her socialist values. She organized exhibitions in Paris, The Hague, Antwerp, Amsterdam, Berlin, and later London and New York. She managed everything, coordinating with shipping companies for the careful transport of Vincent's paintings, handling payments for florists, and overseeing the provision of coffee, to name a few. She thanked her artist friends who helped her out by generously gifting them Van Goghs. This not only showed her appreciation for their support, but also had the effect of exposing Vincent's work to the broader art community. Vincent's reputation began to build 15 years after his death with a pivotal exhibition at Amsterdam's Stedelijk Museum in 1905. No known photos of the exhibition exist, so we used AI and a bit of our own editing to imagine what it looked like as 484 paintings and drawings were displayed, the largest Van Gogh exhibit ever. Jo smartly asked a number of people who owned Van Goghs to lend them for the exhibition as proof of his popularity. Her son Vincent helped arrange and hang the paintings, while her second husband Johann, an artist, stayed in touch with potential buyers. When the public first saw Van Gogh's art, some were shocked by the bold colors and dramatic brushstrokes. An art critic wrote, "Daring to exhibit such shoddy work is scandalous." He suggested the Starry Night looked like donuts, whereas another critic took the opposite view, writing, "The work will grip you and never let you go." Love him or hate him, they talked about him, which drove up the price of Vincent's art. Gone were the days of selling a Van Gogh painting like the interior of a restaurant for only 180 francs, or the equivalent of around $35 based on the gold standard of the time. After the exhibition, a Parisian gallery purchased the painting The Bedroom, which depicts Van Gogh's own bedroom, for 3,000 Dutch guilders, or around $1,200 US. Whereas 5 years before, Gogh turned down an offer for the same painting of only 500 guilders, or $200. She believed it was better to sell a few works for good prices than more works for low prices in order to preserve the value of the art. She also always made sure not to flood the market with Van Goghs, understanding that scarcity could increase their value. The surge in Van Gogh's popularity was further fueled by a new generation of collectors who were increasingly drawn to the expressive qualities of modern art. Despite her success, Gogh faced another tragedy when her second husband, Johann, died of pleurisy, an inflammation of the lining of the lungs, in 1912 at the age of 38. Gogh lamented, "Here I am, alone again, and the only thing that sustains me and gives me the courage to continue is the love for my dear son, and the duty to look after the interests of Vincent's work." She buried herself deeper into her work, including publishing all of Vincent's letters, so that the public could get to know him as a human being, hoping it would foster a deeper appreciation for his art. She organized, edited, and arranged the 820 surviving letters sent by Vincent, 658 of which were to his best friend and most loyal supporter, Theo. The letters were all the more special because they contained sketches to give Theo an idea of what he was working on. Theo treasured and preserved his letters from Vincent. When they were published in 1914, first in Dutch, readers were struck by the intensity of Vincent's writing. Success is sometimes the outcome of a whole string of failures. Find things beautiful as much as you can. Most people find too little beautiful. The sight of the stars always makes me dream. Gogh often wept as she poured through the letters. She worked tirelessly to translate them into English, drawing on her earlier experience working as an English teacher and also her time spent living in New York during World War I. Even as Parkinson's disease caused her hands to tremble, she persisted in her translation work, eventually relying on others to dictate letters. She managed to translate 2/3 of the letters into English before she passed away peacefully in her sleep on September 2nd, 1925. As she neared the end of her life, she could see the fruits of her lifelong dedication. Vincent's art, once confined to an attic, now graced museums in Europe and the United States. Among them were masterpieces she had promised to hold on to forever, yet made the difficult decision to let them go. When she sold one of the beloved sunflower paintings to the National Gallery in London, she explained to the museum director, "It is a sacrifice for the sake of Vincent's glory." Reflecting on the dramatic change in the perception of Van Gogh's art, Gogh confided to an art critic, "It is so good, after so many years of public indifference, even hostility towards Vincent and his work, to feel towards the end of my life that the battle is won." Following Gogh's death, her son Vincent took over the Van Gogh collection and was dedicated to ensuring it would stay accessible for future generations. He helped establish the Vincent van Gogh Foundation, leading to the creation of the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam. Vincent van Gogh once wrote, "It's a rather sad prospect to have to say to myself that the painting I do will perhaps never have any value." How wrong he was. If only he could see the admiration the world has for him today. In an episode of the British science fiction show Doctor Who, the time traveler doctor brings Van Gogh to the future, where he's taking in an exhibit of his own work.
To me, Van Gogh is the finest painter of them all. Certainly the most popular, great painter of all time.
The value of his legacy is not measured in mere emotional impact, but also in astounding prices. In 2022, Orchard with Cypresses was purchased at Christie's auction house for $117.2 million. the most expensive Van Gogh painting ever sold, underscoring the profound influence he continues to have on the art world. An influence that Gogh Van Gogh Bunger spent 35 years cultivating. As one headline aptly put it, without Gogh, there would have been no Van Gogh. Did you know that the Starry Night mirrors a scientific concept not fully grasped until years after its creation? That would be turbulent flow. Van Gogh's ability to visually represent this phenomenon, possibly intuitively, is a testament to his deep observation of the natural world. If you'd like to foster a deep understanding of the world by improving your skills in math, science, computer science, and data science, I highly recommend Brilliant.org, a website and app to help you learn interactively, and it's free for you to try out. Just as Van Gogh intuitively touched upon scientific principles in his art, Brilliant offers courses designed to enhance your scientific thinking through engaging, hands-on puzzles. I like to spend 10 minutes a day on Brilliant's logic puzzles to improve my analytical thinking. Brilliant's courses are designed to let you start at your own pace and gradually build up to more advanced topics. If you find yourself stuck on a problem, you can view the explanation to understand the right approach. You can try out Brilliant for free for 30 days by visiting my custom link in the description, brilliant.org/newsthink. Plus, if you're one of the first 200 people to sign up through my link, you'll receive 20% off your premium subscription, giving you full access to a world of knowledge. Thanks for watching. For Newsthink, I'm Cindy Palm.